vis-a-vis God, he's really nothing, and he regards himself as nothing. Even, when we look around, when we see people, for example, we think that, oh, they are so evil, they are so bad, we are better, for example. We should never think that way. This will give us the quality of ujb, which is worse than sin. Ujb is self-righteousness. We start thinking that we are better than others. And this is a sin, worse than sin. Right? Because eventually it will make us arrogant. So even if we see people very bad, we should say that, yes, we don't know what good they have in them. Maybe what bad I have in me. Shaitan hid that arrogance in him for 6,000 years and it came out all of a sudden. So I might have something in me which I don't even know of, and it comes out. And when that comes out, that quality comes out in me, it will destroy all that good that I think of myself or I have done. So we should always count. Amirul Mu'min says, always look at the good in others and look the worse in you. Never regard the good in you as something of value. Regard the good that is in others is of value, not the good that you have in you. And do not look the limitation or the faults in others. Look the faults in ourselves, not in others, right? So if a person brings this to his life and this becomes his motto, this becomes his life. He work on this quality, and this is how he tilka darul ila akhirah. This is how he walk on this earth. There's another verse which says, very beautiful, وَإِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ الَّذِينَ يَمْشَوْنَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ. The Ibadur Rahman, the servants of Rahman, الَّذِينَ يَمْشَوْنَ. Yamshawna means walking. Yamshi, there's a yamshawn. Yamshawna ala al-ardh. They walk on this earth. Hawnan wa idha khatabahum al-jahilun. They walk on this earth very humbly. In humility they walk on this earth. Right? On the earth. And when وَخَاتِبَهُمْ, when مُخَاتِب, خَاتِبَهُمْ al-jahilun, the jahilun, قَالُوا salama. They will say salam. In return they will say salam. When the jahil are mukhatib with them, when they are treated, or when they are faced with those people who are, ignorant, they don't know anything, right? Because only a person who is ignorant will be arrogant. A person who is ignorant will be arrogant. A person who is knowledgeable, he will not be ignorant. He will not be arrogant. He will be humble. The knowledgeable person is always humble. The tree that bears the fruit bends, but not the tree which doesn't have the fruit, right? Humility is a sign, as they say that, when that tree bears the fruit, it kind of, bows down, it kind of bends, it kind of reflects that humbleness. So if a person have that knowledge, he will be the most humble person. And you will find our scholars, for example, very humble, very extremely humble. The more knowledgeable they become, the more humble they are. Alhamdulillah, God provided me an opportunity to, be with Agha Bahjat. And, I was walking with him. Before that, I thought, Agha Bahjat is like big Ayatullah and knowledgeable, and I felt very hard to, get in touch with him, connect with him, speak to him, because, age-wise, maqam-wise, knowledge-wise. But when I walked with him, when I, start to know him, extremely humble. He's like my grandfather. The way he spoke, very soft-spoken, very humble, inquired about me, what am I studying, what am I doing, engaged me into a conversation, asked me, reminded me of my lesson, eventually gave me some money as well before he left. So very humble, right? So and obviously when we talk about Bahjat, I mentioned this as well earlier, marhum, in his book, Tawzi, first of all, he never published his Tawziul Masail, right? He was not interested in, and only few people, some of his students, he had allowed them a handwritten version of it. Eventually after the demise of Ayatollah Araki, the committee decided that they want to give his name as one of the Maraji, the Khubragan, the Ahl Qibra. So he said, no, I'm not Radi, I'm not happy with it. And eventually he emphasized his son that, if people come to you, tell them that, go do taqleed of others. And then still after that, they come back just because, it becomes wajib, right? Obviously he has to, they don't want to go anywhere, eventually he has to. Then he said, okay, then accept, right? So as a majboor, as a ijbar, very humble, because they, ulama, scholars, they regard themselves as nothing, after having, because they are knowledgeable. Knowledge brings that humility, right? If a person knows little, he's like, oh, mashallah, I know. And he's ready to criticize left and right. Not that our scholars doesn't criticize their predecessors or their asatid or teachers. No, they will do ishkal, they will criticize, right? But at the same time, in a very, humble way. Sheikh Ansari, the great Usuli, Sheikh Murtuzai Ansari, a great scholar. We are talking about 16, end of 16th century apparently, if I'm not making a mistake. Anyway, 400, 500 years ago, great Usuli Sheikh Murtuzai Ansari, his books are very famous in Hausa. It's taught as well, Makasib, Rasail, all of these, his books in Usul. When he used to give lesson, there was one student who started giving, asking questions, a lot of questions to him, right? He asked a lot of questions, and after he never used to ask, and all of a sudden, So after the lesson was finished, he comes to him. The one who recited Bismillah Rahman Rahim in your ear, he recited the whole of Surah Fatiha in my ear. Right? So Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, or Imam Zaman alayhi salam recited Bismillah Rahman Rahim in the ear of this student who all of a sudden, thought of something and started asking question. And because the student, they tend to do tawassul to the Imam, to the Masumin, so that they understand the lesson. So Sheikh Ansari is delivering the lesson. So he wants to learn, the students, right? Sometimes they understand, sometimes they do. If they feel they are not, they do tawassul. They do dua for aid and help. So now here, this student eventually was provided with that spiritual assistant and help. Maybe the Imam recited Bismillah Rahman Rahim in his ear. So then he started sort of, Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Ya Allah. So he started reciting, asking questions, a lot of questions. So the Sheikh Ansari understood, what's going on. But it kind of pointed out to that this student is showing off or trying to be arrogant as such. So he said, the one who recited Bismillah Rahman Rahim in your ear, he has recited all of Surah Fatiha in my ear. Which shows that, take it easy, calm down, do not lie. So it is very important. It's one of the most important quality to have that. So therefore, when we look at the lives of our scholars and ulama, you would find that. They are very extremely humble in terms of their life, in terms of their dealing, and the A'immah and the Masumin alayhimus salam, the example Tilka Darul Akhirat which we recited, and Amirul Mu'minin is the example of our first Imam, who was so special, in terms of his, strength, in terms of his knowledge and all that. Then there's another, quality, there's another sort of hadith which comes, very famous hadith from the, apparently from the Imam, which says that فَإِنَّ مَنْ تَوَادُ لِلَّهِ رَفَعَهُ اللَّهِ. The one who do tawadu, the one who become humble for the sake of Allah, right? رَفَعَهُ اللَّهِ. Allah will increase his, his honor. Allah will increase his sort of level, right? And that's why we recite Abduhu wa Rasuluhu. He is Abd. And Prophet was the most ultimate sort of humble person. And those people who become and have that humility, they become special agents of the Imam. Tonight being the last session as well, it is very important for us to have some special connection, special tawassul to the Imam of the time. Our Imam is alive. The presence of Imam is all the time there, right? So we should have, dua that we should recite. Bahauddini, a great Ayatollah which we mentioned recently, his story as well. He has advised his followers that you should recite dua Imam Zaman in prayers, in qunut. And then he indicated that this is the dastur, or this is the advice of the Imam himself, that you should recite the dua of Imam Zamana in prayers, in qunut. Allahumma kulli waliyaka al-hujjat ibn al-Hasan. Right? So as tonight being the last, it is quite important that we have these tawassulat to the Imam of the time. We should remember the Imam of the time. And those people, as we said, who are mutawazi, those who are humble, know their reality, who they are. As we said, Ya ayyuhan nas antumul fuqara ila Allah. If we know our reality, who we are, then that special, blessing, that special connection and relationship develops with the Imam. Allama Amini's son, Allama Amini was a great scholar who wrote a book called Ghadir, like 10 volumes or more. I think he wrote a book, very famous book, to prove the wilayat of Amirul Mu'mineen. His son mentioned this, that he was in the madrasa, he was in one of the schools, who himself was a great scholar, was a student, studying there. And in this madrasa he was studying, there was a khadim, a janitor, a caretaker, who would help the students, clean, lock up, broom, wash clothes for the students, cook for the students, go out for marketplace, bring stuff. And he would say the students all the time to study. Don't waste your time. You better study and I will do your work. He was very humble, very kind. Whenever he used to go outside, he will ask the student, do you want something from the bazaar? And then one night, Allama Amini's son, we are talking about at a time where there was no light, right? And Allama Amini's son will wake up for his night prayers. He goes to the pound in the yard of the madrasa of the school to make wudu. And all of a sudden, he sees that there is a bright light coming out from the room of this khadim, from the room of this janitor who used to live there. So he was shocked to see that. And then he moves forward, come closer to that room. All he started hearing, this janitor is speaking to another person. The other person, he's saying something, he cannot figure out what he's saying. But the janitor is talking to him. He says, this is the voice of the janitor, he knows. And eventually that light which was coming, bright light, obviously there was no light at that time, but so much bright light coming out of the room, right? After a while, this light kind of gradually disappears. Then he knocks the door of this janitor. He opens, he said, what is it? He said, what was that light? So this person, Khadim, says that, what light? What are you talking about? He's tried to avoid. Then he says that, no, I saw it. If you don't tell me, I'm going to wake up all the school and tell this is what something strange is going on here, right? So he says that, okay, come inside. And then they sat, and he says that if you promise me that till the Zohar of tomorrow, it was Thursday night, till the Zohar of Friday, don't tell anybody what I tell you. So he said, okay, it's just a few hours, not a problem, So he says that, Imam came to his room. And Imam appointed him to another place where there is another place who have died. And as he died there, he said, now it is time that you leave from here and you go to that sort of place. So Allama Amini's son, who thought that, he is the alim, he is the scholar, he is of value, right? Because they say that Imam Zaman have special sort of, tawajjuh, focus towards who are on this path of, knowledge, on this path of purification, right? Trying to educate oneself, right? So he was shocked. He said he was so shocked that he couldn't even pray his night prayer. That he was like, what's going on? I saw himself like a khadim, as a person who doesn't know anything, work and brooms and, go to market and run around all the time. I am the one who is studying and all that. So it's always one should treat others that, as awliya. As we said, the fourth Imam have said, 3 things in 3 things. One of them was that, the awliya of Allah is hidden among people. So treat everyone with respect. We don't know what thing that God likes in regards to that person, right? So one should be very mutawadi, humble towards everybody. We don't know that what relationship he has with the Imam of the time, how the Imam does tawajjuh towards him, right? So here this man was shocked. This the son of Ayamini was shocked that, Imam Zaman came to him and appointed him. Not that he went to Imam Zaman. Look at the honor of this person, right? And then next day, Ghayamini was watching him and tears were just flowing from his ears. He cannot control himself, right? To the point that he packed his humble bag, whatever, he little torn bag, whatever he had. He comes to the madrasa's courtyard. He looks at the building of the madrasa and he says, oh, please forgive me if I have done anything wrong. And then time of Zohar comes, he walked outside towards the gate and all of a sudden he disappears, with that Tahlul Arz which he had, right? So the lesson to be learned is that, one have to really treat regardless of whom we are meeting. Sometimes we say that, oh, we are meeting a great scholar or Ayatullah or a doctor or, no. It could be a doctor, it could be a nurse, it could be that security guard there, right? We have to respect all of them. We have to be humble in front of all of them. Right? Now, if we are humble, the other thing is that regardless of who we are, maybe I'm a scholar, maybe I'm a doctor, or maybe I'm a janitor, but I am humble. This individual was very humble, asking, trying to help. So he becomes a special agent or a special sort of person for the Imam. There is a riwayat in Bihar apparently where they say that Imam has his helpers, Autad, Abdan, different sort of types of individuals, helpers of the Imam who come and help. These are other than 313. While Imam is now in major occultation, he will have, very unknown helpers that they will aid and help others. And many a times, these incidents that we talk about, we saw Imam in the Hajj, or I was in a difficulty, a man came and he helped me. Definitely this was Imam Zaman. Perhaps, maybe, but it could be somebody who was sent by the Imam. Like a caravan, he was there to help the Hajjaj there. But maybe he's working for them, but you never know. He has this sort of special sort of miraculous powers that he could help and aid, in times of difficulties, right? So a person, as we say that, a person فَإِنَّ مَنْ تَوَاضَ لِلَّهِ, a person who tries to be humble for the sake of Allah. It has to be for the sake of Allah. Now my tawadu should not be that, oh, okay, because he's a doctor and I'm very humble in front of him because he has to cure me, right? Oh, he's my boss, so I need to be very humble in front of him because he's my boss, right? Now, it's not monopoly here, but in front of a scholar and alim, alim ad-din, for example, we all are humble. But we are being humble in front of him because of, of God, because of Allah, because that's why I mentioned that, this ihtiram and respect that we give to our ulama, to our scholars, it's in line to the respect of God. It is in that direction, right? When we talk about, our scholars, like, and how this is how they wear, this is how they are, we take lesson from them. We take lesson of being humble. We take lesson of try to be pure and purify us, right? So it is for that sake, right? So, Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So, as this great quality of humbleness is something that is seen time and time again amongst the scholars, amongst the prophets and the Aimma and Masumin alayhimus salam. You have that story where a person from Syria comes to the Imam and says that, oh, your mother is this, mother is that, But the Imam, was calm, was relaxed. He said, okay, what you say is right, then may Allah forgive my mother. If you are saying is all lies, then may Allah forgive you. But on the other hand, we have to look ourselves. If somebody disrespect us, if somebody make fun of us, if somebody doesn't listen to us, we lose it completely. The reason that we lose it is because we think of ourselves of something. I'm the father, so my son should listen to me. I'm, the person in charge, so they should listen to me. So, but if I see that I am not really what I am, and whatever I am is because of God. There's a very beautiful dua of Imam Hussein alayhi salam which says that, Ilahi ana faqiru fi ghinai. Oh Allah, I am faqir in my richness. As in reality, that's what it is. Nothing belongs to us. That nafs, the nafas, that breath that goes inside, we have no idea it will come out or not. May Allah protect all mu'mineen and mu'minat, all human beings, the earthquake which happened. Were they aware of it? No. The one breath that went inside, unaware. It will come or not come out, right? So, Ilahi ana faqiru fi ghinai, fa kayfa la akunu faqiran fi faqri. Oh Lord, I am poor in my richness. So how can I not be poor in my poverty? Right? Imam Hussein. Who is saying this? Imam Hussein is saying this. فَبِأَيَّ شَيْءٍ, with what thing shall I come to you, Ya Mawlaya? Shall I come to you, am bi basari, am bi lisani, am bi yadi, am bi rijli, alaysa kullaha ni'amuka indi. All of these things are bounties provided by you. With what thing? With my tongue, this is from you. With my eyes, with my hands, with my feet. Whatever I am doing, my ruku, my sujood, all of it is nothing and nothing that God have provided. So why am I being so proud? Of what? I have done so many hajj, I have done so many ziyarat, I do so much of ibadat. Why shall I be proud of what? It's all in all given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why the awliya, they regard their actions as no actions. When they regard their actions and as no actions, as we said, the one who does tawazu for Allah, Allah increase their darajah. Then it becomes zarbatu ali in yawm al-khandaq, afzalu ibadat min saqalain. Because for them, their actions is no action. When for them their actions is no action, then God says that their action is greater than the ibadat of Saqalain. Right? Of all jinn or malak or everybody whatsoever, they have been created, their one action, zarbatu, just one zara, in that battle. Forget other battles of Amirul Mu'mineen and other actions of Mu'mineen. How many zarba he did, right? Is afzal than the ibadat of Saqalain. Right? So it is a very important quality, especially, we live in a place where somehow there is arrogance in the air. Everybody thinks of themselves, of some value. The Americans walk on the earth as if they own the earth. I mean, this is well known. If you read any sociologist, they will say that. They think that the whole world belongs to them. If they go to, Philippines, and if they don't find McDonald's, it means that these Filipinos are backward. Why don't they have the McDonald's here? It's because, right? So that is something that we need to be very, very careful, especially here, because arrogance is at its peak. in every field. Well, in a way, to have that sort of confidence is something else. Like as we said, these ulama, they criticize their previous scholars and they present their idea. All of these books that we have in fiqh and usul and falsafa and irfan, they do criticize them, but with great humbleness and humility. But in the Western academia, when they criticize as if that this man is dumb, everything that he has done is lost. A new theory comes and whatever this person has done is have no respect. It's completely gone. But on the other hand, when we look at how our ulama criticize the previous ulama, they criticize them, they say he made a mistake in understanding that ayat or riwayat or in his research, right? They say that as well. But at the same time, they say that what type of person he was in terms of his ibadat. There are many other things that we benefit from, right? Right? We take lesson from utmost respecting each other. There are so many marajis, but at the same time, look how much they respect each other. One marja doesn't accept philosophy at all, right? The other marja accepts philosophy, but look how much they respect each other, right? Like for example, there was this Sheikh Abul Qasim Qummi at the time of Sheikh Abdul Karim Hayri. Sheikh Abul Qasim Qummi was teacher of Imam Khomeini, and the son-in-law, may Allah bless his soul, Agha Rabi, was mentioning once, to Alhamdulillah, I had the opportunity to be with him for a very long time. He wasn't a Maulana, he was like a business person. He had a carpet business, used to, in Bazaar of Qom. And we used to meet him and he used to say things, of Imam and other ulama and other. He says, and his father was an alim. Agha Rabi was a famous scholar, time of Ayatollah Burjardi. He said that when he spoke of Agha Abul Qasim Qummi, Imam would be very sort of, he becomes all of a sudden, aware, kind of, very vigilant whenever Agha Abul Qasim Qummi's name come. And he asked Agha, in regards to Agha Abul Qasim Qummi, was Ajube, was a mysterious person. Then he replied, Wujuda shun Ajube buti. And he was completely a mystery in itself, not just his actions were mysterious. And Imam said that he used to forget lessons while he was studying in class. Sometimes we daydream, when we are taking a class, we just sit and we doze off. We are somewhere else. Sometimes it's the problem of the speaker. Like for example, here, I cannot never figure out that am I really delivering or not. It's very difficult to, this is because my problem. So Imam said that Abul Qasim Qummi recited Sanuqiruka fala tansa. He complained to his teacher, Sheikh Abul Qasim Qummi, that he's forgetting the lesson. Whatever lesson he's giving, he's forgetting it. So he recited Sanuqiruka fala tansa, which is the verse from Surah Ala, which means that I recite and you do not forget. The translation is that God is saying to Prophet that I recite and you don't forget, in terms of the delivery of the Quran, right? Sanuqiruka fala tansa, right? So Agha Abul Qasim Qummi recited in the ear of Imam Khomeini, Sanuqiruka fala tansa. And he said, since then I never forgot my lesson. Agha Abul Qasim Qummi, who lived at the time of Sheikh Abdul Karim Hayri. Sheikh Abdul Karim Hayri is also one of the great marjas. Before Ayatollah Burjardi, he was the marja. It was Sheikh Abdul Karim Hayri, Ayatollah Burjardi, said Muhsinul Hakim, and then after that is Agha Abul Qasim Khui and Imam Khomeini is that. So Sheikh Abdul Karim Hayri and Abul Qasim Qummi was contemporary, right? And it's been mentioned that when the time of Marja'iyat came, they came to Agha Abul Qasim Qummi. But he said, no, go to Sheikh Abdul Karim Hayri. He sent them over there to Agha. This shows that they respect each other. They have that tawazu. Their ilm, their knowledge, And Sheikh Abdul Karim Hairi says that Sheikh Abul Qasim Qummi was a very, like ajube, mysterious person, to the extent that once it happened so that, as he was the head of the Hawza, he was the one who established the whole seminary of Qum. Sheikh Abdul Karim Hairi marhum, he established the seminary of Qum. And every month there is stipend that is given to thousands of students, through the wujuhat, through the donations and khums that comes out. And next day was the day that he was supposed to give to thousands, right? And he had nothing. So he sent his, worker, khadim, to the house of Abul Qasim Qummi, that I have nothing, what to do. He said, don't worry, give me some time. Although he was not the person who collects, or he was the marja, right? But next day he sent bags of money to the house of Sheikh Abdul Karim Hairi, which indicated that he has some sort of connection with the Imam of the time, where this sort of, aid was provided to him, where he assisted the marja of that time was Sheikh Abdul Karim Hairi. So here we have that, okay, once a person becomes a doctor, in terms of psychology or in medical field or in philosophy, the way he criticizes the other person is in a very arrogant way. It is valueless, worthless, whatever research that person have done. So we got to be very careful here, especially here, it's in the air. And a person who becomes arrogant, he is the most stupidest of them all. Like as we said, a person who is knowledgeable, he becomes humble. A person who is ignorant, he becomes arrogant. Now, one last example of that is Fir'aun. Fir'aun was, Ana Rabbakum Ala, I am the greatest Lord. He did takabbur, right? And he considered himself to be the greatest. But if you look at the life of Fir'aun, he was the most stupid of all. After seeing somebody who is doing miracles left and right, the asa of Musa, the parting of the Red Sea, and the grasshoppers, and the blood, and the frogs, all of these miracles of Musa, right? I mean, he saw with his own eyes. Even after seeing that, if it was somebody who had some sort of little knowledge, who was not stupid, will never jump into the ocean, into that sea. Would say that this man is doing so, and let him take this Bani Israel, how many they were. Bible says maybe 600 or something. Odd sort of Bani Israel were there. So what? Pharaoh has the whole mulk. Just 600, let Musa take. Musa is defeating me with this miraculous powers that he has. Why did I jump into that, sea? That's a stupid act that he has done. So when a person becomes arrogant, he becomes stupid. He commits, silly errors, silly mistakes. And we tend to see that all those, whether there be leaders or, scholars or whatever, if they become arrogant, they start committing silly and stupid mistakes. So this is one of the quality, this is very important, that we need to acquire, we need to have. And when we look at the battle of Imam Hussein, Karbala, we find that all of these qualities were in the ashab of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. These are the flowers that we pluck from the tail of Karbala. Truthfulness, sabr, humility and humbleness. How humble the ashab of Imam were, right? They were so humble. That's why their humility was for God, for the Waliullah. And now look at that, how God have raised them. God have raised them so high. They are awliya Allahi wa ahibba'u wa asfiya Allahi wa abidda'u, right? Where the ashab have reached to a point where the Imam says, the sixth Imam says, that binafsi ant, may my life be sacrificed to the companions of Hussein. The Imam is saying that. Imam's life, the Imam who is appointed by God, who is the guardian from God, He is saying, my life be sacrificed to the companions of Hussein. That's how their daraja is. That's how they are raised. Because they were humble, because they were truthful, because they were sabir. They had all of these qualities in them. Right? So it is something that we need to acquire this from the majalis of Imam Hussein, by remembering Imam Hussein, by the zikr of Imam Hussein and by the tawassul, by asking God, by asking the Imams that he installed, by that relationship of the Imam of the time who is alive, by speaking to him, by connecting to him through du'as, by remembering him, as they say. And tonight being the last night and the Shab-e Shahadat of Siddiqa Sughra Zainab Kubra Salamullah Alayha, a tawassul through the zikr musibat. Zikr musibat, remembering the Ahl Bayt and their trials, their difficulties, their sorrow. It is one of the swiftest and quickest vehicle which will make us reach that kamal and perfection. Because when the heart breaks, when we remember them, when we cry for them, that's the time where we can seek and ask. We have seen this, Agha Bahjat till the last day of his life emphasized on the azadari, on the majalis of Imam Hussein. When he was ill, he would not come to lead the prayers, but definitely he will come to attend the majlis of Imam Hussein. He would have once a week majlis in his house. Every Thursday night was the majlis in the house of Agha Bahjat. And he would say that this was the habit of Sayyid Ali Qazi, who would have majlis of Imam Hussein. So it is through the zikr musibat of Imam Hussein, it is through the masaib of Ahl Bayt alayhimu salam that we do tawassul to them, how they suffered, how Zainab Kubra suffered. There are different reports in regards to the martyrdom of Siddiqa Sughra, Hazrat Zainab Salamullah Alayha. One report which says that she died a natural death because of the suffering that she had suffered. It was so painful, it was so dreadful that obviously when a person have gone through so much of trouble and pain, it really affects the health. And because of this, she departed this dunya. Another narration or a narrative that we have is in regards to that she was poisoned by Yazid. And why not be the case that someone who is actively involved to promote the message of Imam Hussein, it is because of her that the message of Imam Hussein have remained. She uphold to that message, to those values, those teachings of Imam Hussein, and she spread, in Medina and every places she went. Another report that is usually recited in some of the poetries that we find is that as she was actively involved in promoting the message of Imam Hussein, Yazid summoned her and called her to Syria, to Sham, because that was the capital. So when she returns back to Sham, and as she was returning back, she stopped in a garden, in a sort of place where there was a garden on which the tree, on top of the tree, the heads of the shuhada were hanged. As they were going back, from Karbala to Kufa and Kufa to Sham, as they were taken the heads of the shuhada, there was one garden, there was one place, they had tied the heads of the shuhada. And we have seen time and time again that this priest who got the head of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, he placed the Noor, and the story of that, what happened in Halab. I think that was the place in Syria, and there's a place of ziyarat there. All these places of ziyarat be free, and inshallah may Allah give us tawfiq that we go visit them. There's still blood stains on that stone, right? So here that these heads were tied on this tree, and apparently there were some blood stains on it, which reminded her of Imam Hussein, of the brother. And as it reminded her, she started to cry. And when she started to cry, as Syria was full of nasibis, full of place where there were enemies of Ahl Bayt alayhimu salam. So the person, the gardener who was working there, figured it out that this is someone who loves Ahl Bayt. And perhaps whether he knew whether she is the daughter of Ali or not, he moves forward and uses the sickle. He had that sort of dagger which cuts they use that in that farm, and he attacked Hazrat Zainab Salamullah alayha on her head. It was a very similar blow, like this blow of Ibn Muljim that comes on the head of the very daughter of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Blood started to flow from the chador upon her head, and she falls on the ground. Imam Sajjad alayhi salam moves forward, places the head of Zainab. These are the last breath that the Zainab is breathing. And as she is breathing, she says that this is the time of Wisal. This is the time that she was really waiting to really meet the brother Hussein in Barzakh. And she looks at Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, and she looks at Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, parts farewell. She says, Assalamu alayka ya Abu Abdullah. And she enters Barzakh and meets the brother. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi rajaun. And in Sham, that is where the place she is buried, and a place of worship, a place of ziyarat. May Allah give us tawfiq that we visit. May the shrine be protected from the ill intentions of the enemies of Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam. Ala lanatullah ala qawmuz zalimin sayalamu alladhina zalamu ayya munqalibin yanqalibun. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Matam Hussein, Ya 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 Hussein. في تزبى زينب للعين وتنادي أين أنت يا معيني وحسينا 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 وحسينا. When in Karbala the soldiers of Yazid shackled Zainab. When in Karbala the soldiers of Yazid shackled Zainab. Choking back her tears, she cried out in pain, where are you, Hussein? Where are you, Hussein? Wa Habiba, Wa Habiba, Wa Habiba, Wa Husseina, Wa Husseina, Wa Husseina. في الطفوف تزبى زينب للعين وتنادي أين أنت يا معيني وحسينا 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 وحسينا. But your body lay trampled and slain, lifeless on the sand. But your body lay trampled and slain, lifeless on the sand. And your holy head thrust up atop a spear, severed by Shimmer's hand, severed by Shimmer's hand. Wakatila, 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 Wa Husseina, Wa Husseina, Wa Husseina. Fit the fufi تزبى زينب للعين وتنادي أين أنت يا معيني وحسينا 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 وحسينا. You gave everything in a strange land to bring back true Islam. You gave everything in a strange land to bring back true Islam. Your Quran in red, we who heed your call will never be misled, will never be misled. Wa ghariba, wa ghariba, wa ghariba, wa Husseina, wa Husseina, wa Husseina. Fit tafufi tuzba Zainab للعين
وتنادي أين أنت يا معيني وحسينا 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 وحسينا. Centuries away, even here today, your sacrifice lives on. Centuries away, even here today, your sacrifice lives on. Your light revives our hearts and guide us to your path. We're with you, O Imam. We're with you, O Imam. Wa Imama, wa Imama, wa Imama, wa Husayna, wa Husayna, wa Husayna. Fit Fufi Tuzba Zainab Lillaini. وتنادي أين أنت يا معيني وحسينا وحسينا وحسينا. يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين.
Please recite 5 times I am yujibu li shifa marda li qada al hajat, especially for those who are in need of prayers, those who are affected by the earthquake, those who are suffering, especially my aunt who is in need of special du'as from my dear brothers and sisters, and also for the reappearance, for the haste and reappearance of the Imam of our time, that we be included in the companions, for the acceptance of these amal, this zikr that we have done for a few nights. 5 times I am yujibu all together. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Amma yujibu al-mustarra idha da'a wa yakshakfu as-su. Amma yujibu al-mustarra idha da'a wa yakshakfu as-su. Amma yujibu al-mustarra idha da'a wa yakshakfu as-su. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء. باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأجل الأكرم، بعدد ما أحاط به علمك بمولانا صاحب الزمان. يا الله 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 يا رحمن يا رحيم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. يا قاضي الحاجات يا كافي المحمات إنك على كل شيء قدير. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وللأرواح التي هلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين، خصوصا سيدي ومولاي أبو الفضل العباس ابن أمير المؤمنين، وأختك زينب وأم كلثوم وبنتك رقية وسكينة ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا علي زين العابدين قرة عين الناظرين. السلام عليك يا محمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والحجة القائم المنتظر المهدي. عجل الله لك فرج وجعلنا من أعوانك وأنصارك والمستشهدين بين يديك. ورحمة الله وبركاته. رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة لأرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات, especially the marhumin of the brothers and sisters who are present here, and also of all of the marhumin who have contributed for this institution, for the establishment of this place, and Jumla marhumin, especially those marhumin who have no family members to send a Fatiha for them. Al-Fatiha ma'as salawat ala Muhammad wa alihi.